Okay. Hola. Hola. Buenas tardes. Oops, whose call? Am I in that shot? Yes. Hello. Very good. Look, there's those guys way out there. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Arratsaldeon. Ongi etorri. Muy buenas tardes a todos.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Demme, how are you? Neil Young, Heart of Gold is the title of the film. I'm up here on your right. Up here on my right. Up here, up the top. It's a section, the Pearl section of the festivals in Tlavaltegi. His director, Jonathan Demme, the director, is here on the press conference, and undoubtedly he's prepared to answer any questions you may deem pertinent. Whenever you want, we can start. I would like to know what was your relationship with Neil Young, and what was your relationship with Neil Young in order to carry out this project?
Okay, gracias. By the way, is my English gets translated?
Yes, we do. Don't worry. You can take the headphones off. Probably more comfortable for you.
Neil Young wrote a song for my film Philadelphia in 1993, and that's when we became acquainted. And because Neil Young has always been one of my great passionately favorite songwriters and singers and guitar players, this relationship meant a lot to me. So about a year and a half ago, I'd always dreamed of doing a film with Neil Young. I wanted to do a film that would be positive and warm, and to do a nice film about America. So I thought that Neil Young's songs would help us all remember some of the positive things that Americans really care about, to separate out from the America that George Bush has created in so many ways.
Siguiente pregunta, por favor.
Next questions, please. Okay, well, I'll go ahead, he says. I would also like to ask you, you're very respectful. You seem from afar, really. You don't try to interview him. It's a reflection of a concert more than a musical documentary. Is this due to the character or the way you contemplate a documentary film, a doc film?
Actually, I think that the use of the word documentary can be very misleading, and certainly in the case of Heart of Gold, it is. I prefer to describe the film as a performance film, as opposed to a documentary film, because if I do a film like this, I'm really hoping to create a cinematic musical experience for the viewer, and I like that this film has a sort of autobiographical dimension about Neil Young, because in fact you learn a great deal about him through his music. We can see how sincere and how deeply he believes in what he's singing about. So I think we get to know him, but through music as opposed to documentary. He's an amazing guy, and on our DVD, I was really happy to have a chance to use a lot of the footage, the interview footage that we see a little tiny bit of in the beginning of the movie. There's tons of that on the DVD. I love documentaries too. I'm trying to make documentaries all the time. I'm doing a documentary with in New Orleans now with people who are moving back into their homes in the worst hit areas, and that of course is a documentary. But these performance films need their own category because I wish people could be, even when they arrive to see the film, that they'd know that this is going to be music and not a lot of information.
Siguiente pregunta. Next question.
Next question, please. Hi. You said that you've approached the film as having a different vision of the United States apart from the United States which was generated by George Bush. Apart from this, do you have any projects or you want to make any film along these lines? And what's your opinion about films that are being made like World Trade Center by Oliver Stone or United 93, which are being now premiered in Spain? One of them is going to be presented and premiered here in the San Sebastian Film Festival. Thank you.
Okay. I live in New York, and for me, outside of the filmmaking level, I did not see the United 93 film, and I have not seen World Trade Center. Just as a moviegoer, I don't feel like I'm really ready to see those films. Partially because I feel that the repercussions of September 11th are still being lived out every bit as intensely today as they were September 12th. These films don't sound to me like the kind of films about September 11th that might be valuable, that we as a global civilization might benefit from, that we might somehow learn from to help stimulate us towards more and more thinking towards peace and away from fueling the fires of the what they call the war on terror. I know that I saw one film, and in terms of making a political film, I made one crazy political film a few years ago called The Manchurian Candidate, where we had a lot of fun feeling that we were sort of making statements about Dick Cheney and Bush and about Halliburton and what have you. And I like this kind of trend in films. And at this festival, I've seen one film yesterday that I just admire so much because it's the film Children of Men, because it's a film that pretends that it's a film set in the future, in the near future, but in fact every single thing you see in that film is happening today, whether it's Abu Ghraib or the oppression of immigrants, or whether it's everything is in there. Military moving into residential areas and destroying homes. These are all things happening today, and I think it's brilliant the way that film uses a futuristic format to hold a mirror up to exactly today, to not be predictive in any way, but rather to be completely reflective. So if a film can do that, if it can be great filmmaking and achieve this kind of thought provocation, I'm in awe of that. And I would not know how to make that film. I'm going to do a documentary film starting in about 6 weeks with the former United States President Jimmy Carter, who has a new book coming out. And the book is called Palestine, Peace or Apartheid. And he takes a very strong position against U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East. And I'm very excited to be helping make that film, because this is, in my country, a subject that is not discussed nearly enough. And in fact, it's discussion about U.S. foreign policy, well, anywhere, but especially in the Middle East, is really kind of discouraged and what have you. So I'm very proud of Carter for going out with his book soon, and I'm glad that we'll be there to film that. And I hope that will contribute again, to a better understanding in America. And we make this move towards peace, that we somehow overpower Bush's movement towards war.
Hola, buenas tardes.
Hi, good afternoon. Hi, with the answers you gave me before, Neil Young's music, is that the reflection of the more genuine and peaceful America vis-a-vis a more warrior type and guerrilla type society of Bush and co?
Yes, and thank you for circling that around. It's really, after seeing, I have seen lots of films since I arrived, and at the festival, and I'm really happy to see how many of the films at the San Sebastian Film Festival do hold a mirror up to today. And I found myself thinking about my music film here with Neil Young, which doesn't mention anything political. And I thought to myself, I was very, is this film very sort of redundant, or is it sort of slightly off to the side? But I was reminded of the fact that it was very important to me from the very beginning that this film would have an opportunity to remind anybody who sees it that America really is a country that loves peace, that loves humanity, and I think this is a very patriotic film in that regard. And I feel especially, at home in America, it's very, very hard to live with this war, with all the things that America does around the world through its policy. It's very difficult at home to be in your own country and to have this kind of leadership making these catastrophic decisions and justifying the recent bombing of Lebanon, and just that you see that this is not my country. And many, 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 many Americans do feel that way. So truly, this film, in its way, is a very sincere reminder that, please don't think that the American people, when you read what Bush is saying, don't think he's speaking for us. Neil Young is speaking for us.